what we're doing. Right now we are trying to figure it out. So not sure where we're at.
That's okay, but that happens in the real world.
It does happen in the real world.
And it happens with caregiving.
We're trying to do this show for you today. We are... Oh, okay. So that's what's going on. I just got a message from our control room, and unfortunately, the little music that my guest wanted to sing for you is licensed material, and we are not allowed to play it.
Okay.
So can't do that. So we're going to introduce you, tell everybody who you are and what you were trying to do and why, and maybe they'll understand.
Okay.
But anyway, we are here live from Boca Raton, Florida. You have joined Caregiver Solutions Info. Today's a crazy day, but you know, when you deal with people with dementia and you're a caregiver, you have crazy days too. So we can certainly identify with that. We know what you're going through. And you know, it's okay. It's all right to have crazy days. It's all right to
Wing it.
Wing it. Yeah, wing it. Hey, that's a good one. When you're a caregiver, you have to wing it a lot.
Definitely.
So this is Sunny, everybody. Sunny Netto. She's joining me live here on the radio station in Boca Raton. And Sunny is the marketing director at the Arden Courts Memory Care Community in Del Rey. We're in Boca, but you're from Del Rey. And she's here today because we're going to be talking about a special program that is very dear to my heart. It is a special program that I think that you would be interested in knowing about because it's something that not everybody does for people that have dementia and their family. So, Sunny, you're getting ready to sing a song, My Girl, which we have to not play the music to. So tell me why you were trying to sing that song when we first started. Why?
Because we had a very special occasion at Arden Courts recently, and it was called Heart's Desire.
Okay.
It's a very special program that we do to help our residents bring their dreams to life. We help make their wishes come true. And sometimes it is things that they always wanted to do and never had a chance to do. And sometimes it's things that were a pastime for them that faded away in the memories or they can't do anymore because they did get dementia or Alzheimer's or other types of dementias. And we help bring that to them, or we take them to that and bring that memory to life for them.
Wow, that's really special. So it's called Heart's Desire.
Yes.
So whatever is your heart's desire, meaning the resident's heart desire, you're going to try to make it come true.
Exactly. And we recently did a Heart's Desire at Arden Courts where this couple, a very special couple to us, wanted to have a 50th wedding anniversary, always looked forward to having their 50th wedding anniversary. But their journey has been a very, very tough one. Our resident, he was sent to the behavioral unit from another community, and he was just having a really hard time, and his wife came back to us after she had chose this other community, came back and said, please, can you help us? And we said, yes, we are not giving up on you. We want to help you and whatnot. Well, going along, again, it was just a really tough journey for them and for both of them. And
because of his
disease process, it just was making him very angry and agitated and just things. And it was just, he was suffering, really suffering. And we worked really hard with him and to get him stable and whatnot, and helped his wife, who is just the sweetest person, and everyone took to her. All of the families in our building took to her, all of the staff, and she was just crying one day and was saying, I don't even want to celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary. I don't even want to celebrate it. It's just, everything's terrible and whatnot. And our executive director, who has one of the biggest hearts I've ever known, said, we said, no, we're going to have one. And we were
because they had planned to have one all
Right.
these years, right?
Right.
You always talk about, when you're married a long time, you always talk about, wow, wait till we're married 50 years. We're really going to have something to celebrate.
Right.
And unfortunately, before
Right.
they got to that point, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and that took away all of her motivation to try to do this special
Right.
celebratory type of thing.
Exactly. And it robbed him of his dreams of this, and it robbed hers. And so we were having a 50s party at the end of the month around the same time as their anniversary. So we decided to have a 50-50 party and make it a 50s party, but also a 50th anniversary party for them.
That's nice.
So, yes. And she was just elated, and so was he. We had a big table in the back of the room. We gave them a wedding cake, and we had all their wedding pictures set up, and it was just beautiful. And their children came, and their family was able to come and enjoy this special moment with their father, he was just resonating with it. I had the opportunity to sing for them and do the 50s party. So I was singing 50s music.
So you were the wedding singer, so to speak.
Yes.
And so with the song that you were attempting to sing here at the beginning of the show, My Girl, was that one of the songs that you sang at their wedding anniversary?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. It's because she told me that when her husband was in Vietnam, and they were courting, he asked her to marry her right before he left, and he went away, and he had a record player over there, and come to find out that the only record he had, the only 45, was My Girl. So that was his favorite song, and he would always call her and sing it to her or whatnot. When he got back, that was their song. One record.
And he played it over and over and over again. I bet he wore it out.
I'm sure he did. And so when he heard that, you could tell it got through to him. You could tell that it resonated with him, and they danced, and it was so special, and it was very tender, and she cried, and we all cried, and it was just a very special moment that they could have a success. He could have a successful moment in his day and bring joy to that moment and to that moment in his life and give quality to his life and at that time and for their family as well. So it was just a really special time.
That is really special. So, Sonny, do you think that with his stage of where he was in the disease, do you think that he actually realized the date that it was his 50th anniversary at that time?
No,
because they don't know times. But the fact that he identified with that special song and that it brought back good memories to him of loving his wife who he had just proposed to before he went away, how did that, you think, make him feel?
I think like I said, it resonated with him, and music's always the last to go. Lyrics are always the last to go with residents, at least most of them that I see. And I've seen people that have that haven't been able to speak in a long time, say a lyric after I sing, don't sit under the apple tree or something, and they're able to spit that out and it's just amazing to see. And I could see him looking at me, and he came over to me while I was singing, while he was dancing with his wife, and he just touched me, and he knew what was happening. And for that moment, he was very lucid, and it was something we were all proud to see. It made all of us really happy because we'd all worked really, really hard with this family, and we really wanted them to just find just more some happiness in this, just what was becoming a really bleak, a really hard time for them, hard road.
Well, he certainly sounds like you did a marvelous job.
Thank you.
And he acknowledged that by touching you. He acknowledged that, hey, I know this. I remember this. This is special to me. And he might not, like you say, understand that it was his 50th anniversary, but he knew that song meant good times good memories, identified with his wife, who he was right there with and dancing.
And was waiting to go back for, and she was waiting for him. It was a bridge to their love.
That is so awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. I know, you make me get all teary-eyed about it, too.
Tender.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have some more stories and some more heart's desires to share with you, so stay tuned.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live, it's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
Hi, I'm Michael Mole.
Often occurs with Alzheimer's or related dementias, even among their caregivers. When the time comes for you to decide that someone you love needs more help than you can give, will you be able to recognize it? Don't wait for a crisis to make the decision for you. Talk to Arden Courts. Memory care is all we do. We know, we understand, we can help. To learn more, visit arden-courts.com. Arden Courts follows equal housing opportunity guidelines. Somewhere at the corner.
Dementia care expert on caregiversolutions.info. If you have a question or wish to share a story, call into the show at 888-565-1470 and talk with Marcia. Now, back to Caregiver Solutions.
Welcome back to Caregiver Solutions Info. Our topic today is heart's desire. What's your heart's desire? What's your loved one's heart's desire? Heart's Desire is a program that Sunny Netto from Arden Courts Memory Care Community, she's explaining what it's all about, and it is so special. So, Sunny, you're telling us that Heart's Desire is something that you do to make someone's wish come true, that they have dementia, maybe they can't do something anymore that they used to do because of their disease, or maybe it's something that they never really got to do before they were incapacitated by Alzheimer's. Right. But why do that? Why create this special time for families? I know it's something that's above and beyond your duties, all the duties. Your staff is really busy taking care of all the residents and all the day-to-day activities. Why do this extra above and beyond event?
Well, it started in 1997 by HCR Manor Care and adopted by Arden Courts 20 years ago when we came into existence. And I just believe it is something that goes along with our values to, one, be family-focused as well as resident-focused, and or be resident-focused. And because every resident, we see them as individuals and unique. And so we want to give them a unique experience that touches them one more time and can be, again, a successful event for them, something they can do and bring joy to their life and bring, joy to that moment, because they are just living moment to moment at that time. So it is, and I think it sets us apart from other communities.
Because this is, you mentioned the word unique, having unique individuals, but it's a unique program just for HCR Manor Care and Arden Courts, because this is something that you all have been doing since 97 that does set you apart, because it's not something that just is common in every community.
Not everybody does it. So I just think it is something, because that's how we see our residents as individuals and unique, and we want to give them those unique experiences and make them feel special, and it makes us feel special. It makes everybody feel special, and it's giving everyone a better quality of life.
Yeah, and by doing that, I would imagine too that a person's self-esteem could be elevated, because even if they wanted to do something that they always did, but maybe they can't, you're going to make it happen one way or another, because how do you make something happen? Let's say they wanted to, go scuba diving, okay? All right, and now they have dementia, and they love to go scuba diving, but obviously now they can't because that's very technical, tricky, going under the ocean.
And dangerous.
And having to read meters, right? And so let's say that's their heart's desire, that they want to go scuba diving. So how could you, obviously you can't take them scuba diving, right?
Right. So the idea is that, yes, we modify things.
Okay.
So that they can do it, and to make it successful, to let them experience that. So if, say, somebody wanted to go scuba diving, there might be a couple of things we might do. We might take them on a boat and maybe put their feet in the water and let them feel the vastness of the ocean. We might take them to like a water,
like an aquarium.
An aquarium, thank you. That's what I wanted to see. Like an aquarium, we could go in and you can see the glass walls with all the fish and the sharks and all the
things that you would see if you were right there underwater with them.
Yeah,
and dress them in their flippers and their mask while they're in the aquarium, so they could get those. No, I mean, why not? I mean, they could wear the mask, the flippers, and they could see and get that feel of it. And I'm really not being facetious, but you're modifying this, because that's something they normally would do. They would be dressed that way, right? Or maybe even snorkeling, if they could, like put their head into water and look at things underwater. So I love that, because it is not exactly the way they used to do it, but it's modified so that they can do it. And to me, that would be building their self-esteem and making them feel so good about themselves that they still can do what they like to do. And I know, of course, Arden Courts is all about, helping them do what they can do. It's not about what they can't do. It's about what they can do.
Exactly. And sometimes these heart's desires, they don't have to be elaborate. It can be something really simple, such as flying a kite or going fishing, or just going to the beach and again, just putting their feet in the sand one more time, or just maybe a drive, if one of the Arden Courts lives near, the mountains or whatnot, go up to the mountains, have a picnic. So just things like that were favorite pastimes.
Because in doing those favorite things, those pastimes that they did, it probably elicits a lot of memories for them.
Right. And, as, the most recent memories, the most recent things going on, we know that it just doesn't stick, right? So it's those past memories and the oldest memories. That's what they remember the most, and that's what they're going to remember the longest, I guess. And so, maybe, as a kid, if they went to the river and that was their thing, was to go to the river and go fishing, I mean, that could be something very special, and they feel like a kid again. We know they kind of time travel. We know that, those current memories are kind of gone, and so now all that's left are those past memories, and maybe the only memories they have left are the memories of when they were a child. And so their favorite thing, was, like I said, going fishing. I know when I was a kid, that's what I did. I went to the river and rode my bike, and that's what I loved to do, and I would do it all day long. And so
we talk about what the heart's desire does for the resident. What does it do for the family? By taking someone fishing or taking someone, to an aquarium, what does that do for the family?
It provides them an avenue or venue or an opportunity to share and have a meaningful activity with them. And that is so important because the roles do change, in ways sometimes. And we try to foster an environment where the roles can switch back to where they are husband and wife and, children and parents and whatnot. But it gets harder and harder for them to find activities that they can do that they can do together that are meaningful. So if they are doing one of these heart's desires together, it just provides them a special bond that they may not have otherwise. A lot of times people visit, they don't know what to say, the resident can't connect, to what's going on in the loved one's lives. They may not remember the grandkids. They may not, be able to remember them. So, and their names and what's going on. And so if they can focus it back and take it back to the resident and go there with them and share that with them.
Get in their world
and know that their loved one, that their dad or their mom or their husband or their wife is experiencing joy that they don't get to see very often, may not get to see very often. Some are very happy all the time and some, have a harder time. So especially for those who have harder times, to get to see them enjoy something that seems to come so natural for them, and again, boosting their self-esteem, it makes the family feel really good, and just to have one more time with them and to experience
another
something
memory
like that.
For the family.
Yes, exactly. It's creating memories for them.
Right.
And
memories the family will have for their lifetime.
Right.
And I think that is really special.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have some more stories about real heart's desires that have been done, and also some ideas that you can do at home to create your own loved one's heart desire. So we will be right back.
The inability to recognize the obvious often occurs with Alzheimer's, particularly among the family members who care for them. When the time comes for you to decide that someone you love needs more help than you can give, will you be able to recognize it? Don't wait for a crisis to make the decision for you. Talk to us. We know. We understand. We can help. Arden Courts. Wandering is a common problem for people with Alzheimer's or related dementias. It's also a problem for family members who care for them. Keeping them safe and secure means never letting your guard down. And even though deep down you know it's time, it hurts to have to ask for help. But it could hurt them even more if you didn't. We know. We understand. We can help. Arden Courts. Somewhere at the corner of bewildered and confused is a lost mother, a father, a sibling, a grandparent. Wandering is a common symptom of Alzheimer's or related dementias and can often make those who care for a loved one feel just as lost. If you're looking for a place that's safe and secure, look to Arden Courts. Memory care is all we do. We know, we understand, we can help. To learn more, visit arden-courts.com. Arden Courts follows equal housing opportunity guidelines.
Info. If you have a question or wish to share a story, call into the show at 888-565-1470 and talk with Marcia. Now, back to Caregiver Solutions.
We are back, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our national sponsor, Arden Courts Memory Care Communities. Arden Courts has about 50 communities all across the United States, 10 of them right here in Florida. Arden Courts cares as much for the residents and the families as they care about you, the family caregiver. As such, they have a lot of resources to offer you. One of them today is called the 36-Hour Book. This is a wonderful resource for family caregivers. It's a family guide to caring for people who have dementia and other diseases that related to the brain that cause memory loss, all kinds of different diseases, which actually is explained in the book. There are tips. There's all kinds of interesting things to tell you about to help you understand what the disease is, what's going to happen, and educate you on the process. This is a wonderful book, and it's free just for asking. All you have to do is call the toll-free number, which is 888-478, 888-478-2410. 888-478-2410. Tell them that you heard about the offer for the free book on the Caregiver Solutions info show, and they'll be happy to get your address, name, and mail a book right to you. So I highly recommend this book for you or someone else that may be struggling with caregiving. Again, highly recommend this. It's in its 5th edition, and it's a wonderful resource. So I'm here today with my guest, Sunny Neto. Sunny is the marketing director of the Arden Courts Memory Care Community in Delray Beach. And we're talking about a program special and specific and unique to Arden Courts and HCR Manor Care that started in 1997, right, Sunny, you said? Mm-hmm. And A Heart's Desire, about creating new memories with families and bringing back old memories for people with dementia, elevating their self-esteem, giving them joy in the moment, creating happiness with the staff that participate in that. So, Sunny, let me ask you a little bit more about the Heart's Desire. So, who participates besides the family member and your resident? Do you have other people that participate in the Heart's Desire?
Right. So you mentioned, the resident's family, the staff, and like we said, if sometimes we bring the Heart's Desire to them, and sometimes we take them out to the Heart's Desire and get our community partners involved. So, say someone's heart desire was to be in the opera again. They were an opera singer. That's one of my favorite stories that HCR Manor Care and Arden Courts has done. Is there was a resident who was in the opera and loved to be in the limelight, and so they took her to the opera. And they saw another performance. She saw another performance. And then after the show, they took her back to meet the cast and the singers. And they gave her roses and, to spread her out.
I'm sure she loved that.
Yes. And it was just really, again, a dream come true for her. So, and sometimes it may be another community partner. It could be...
Well,
you did one.
We did one. We actually, a couple of them that come to mind over the years. One was a resident who loved to gamble on the horses. She did, and she talked about it because she put her daughters through college with her winnings from going to the racetrack and betting on horses. And this was up north.
It's
but
amazing.
Now she's here in South Florida, and because of her Alzheimer's and her daughters live far away, she's living at Arden Courts, and she talked about that all the time. And her heart's desire was to go back and bet on those horses and go to a horse race again. So we contacted the daughter who lived in Colorado, and the other daughter was out of the country, so she wasn't able to participate. And we talked to the daughter about it. And she said, "Oh, it's true. My mom, she used to win all the time." So we actually partnered with the Pompano Racetrack here in South Florida, and we got them on board, and they were our community partner to create this Heart's Desire. And the resident, she was all psyched up for the day, and we told her what we were going to be doing, and there were some staff members that went along. The daughter flew in from Colorado and went with us. The Pompano Racetrack, they were awesome because not only were they involved in making it happen, they were really involved because they actually named a race after this particular lady. Her first name was Emily, and so they called it, the actual race in the program was called Miss Emily's Heart's Desire, because, each race has a name, and they called hers Miss Emily's Heart's Desire, and she put money down, and believe it or not, she did win. Her horses came in. It was my first experience being at the horse track, and I almost won, but
you weren't as lucky as Miss Emily.
I wasn't as lucky. And they put her name up in lights on the marquee, and they just really treated her like a queen. And we all had dinner there. And finally, she was brought down after her race. They brought her down. She was in a wheelchair, and they brought her down to the winner's circle when the horse and the jockey came. And she had her picture taken with them, and they presented her with a huge bouquet of roses. And she was just smiling ear to ear. And I guess the worst part was she didn't want to go back. We're like, it's almost 11 o'clock. I think curfew's over. So she had a great time. And her memory was such that she could still talk about that for several days after.
That's great.
And it made such a good impression upon her that she was just telling everybody about it and just, so happy. And it made her daughter so happy to be a part of it and see her mom enjoying something that she used to do.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's a really great one.
Yeah, that was a good. And we had another one happened, I guess, right when I first came to work at Arden Courts 18 years ago. And there was a gentleman that lived there, and a lady moved in shortly after I was there. And these two, this man and this lady, they were both widowed. Their spouses had passed away, and the families had put them to live at Arden Courts. And they really took to each other. They were just so attracted to each other. They're like magnets. And so they went everywhere hand in hand. And we would do, our checks. And if you couldn't find her, go find him. They'll be together, which was always the case. And they were always together. And he used to call her his wife. This is my wife, my wife. So the families, by visiting over the few years, got to know each other. And so his family knew her family and vice versa. So because he wanted to marry her, and legally he couldn't because A, both of them have dementia, and B, it just wasn't going to be possible. They couldn't really do it. They couldn't give true consent. But we made a heart's desire, and we made it happen that we gave him a wedding.
Oh, my goodness. That's wonderful.
We actually did a wedding. So you're the wedding singer in your case,
I know,
but I'm the wedding planner in my case. And I planned this wedding, and we had everything you would have at a regular wedding. We had an organist come in that played Here Comes the Bride. We had vows. Mm-hmm. The families made sure that he was dressed in his three-piece suit, and she was dressed in her really pretty green. I remember how she looked. She had a beautiful green floral dress that she wore for her 50th wedding anniversary. And she's now wearing it for her new wedding. And they came in, and the families all came into town. We had a huge cake, and we did have partners in this case. We had a local bakery donate a nice big wedding cake, and we put yellow roses on it because yellow is for friendship. Aww. We had a local florist who donated a bouquet of flowers for her and a little yellow boutonniere for him. Mm-hmm. We had someone to officiate the actual wedding. And I think one of the great things about it, too, and we talk about how the staff and the whole community rally and buy into this because it is such a wonderful type of event that we have our caregivers that are, working. They had their shift and they're working. They're, peeking in, when they could to see the actual wedding taking place because it was during the day in the afternoon. But the greatest thing was the caregivers and the staff who were not working that day, who had the day off. They actually dressed up, to the nines, like they were going to a wedding, of their friends, wearing long gowns, makeup, hair, everything, and came to this wedding. And I just thought that was so awesome.
That is.
And so we went through the whole ritual, the vows. You may kiss the bride. He hugged her really big. He actually lifted her off the ground when he kissed her. And we had a champagne toast, although it was really 7-Up. And everybody was just so happy. So I guess the best part of the whole event, besides making his dream and her dream come true, well, we found out by talking to the families that they were both born on within a week of each other, actually 6 days of each other, the same year, and they were both from European countries. So they did have a lot in common, and they must have just known that instinctively. But the best part ever was that she had a private room, and he had a private room at Arden Courts. And after they were married, they got to go and share together a shared room, so they moved in together.
Oh my goodness. It's never too late.
Right. And that was just the icing on the cake.
That is the icing on the cake on my back.
That was it. That was it. So they had their honeymoon. They were together.
That's wonderful.
And the families were, of course, okay with it, and they gave their permission, so
Of
that they could
course.
be together.
That's great. That's really great.
And everybody was happy. And then, unfortunately, soon after the wedding, maybe within the year, her pseudo-husband, he passed away. But we were there still for her, and had those memories with her. So, that was just, in my book, it was just so much fun and sweet and special. And so these heart's desires, I think, are important. And I'm so glad that you're there to carry them out.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
So last break we're going to take, and we'll be back. We have a little more to tell you about. And in the meantime, think about what your heart's desire is. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Being unable to recognize the obvious often occurs with Alzheimer's or related dementias, even among their caregivers. When the time comes for you to decide that someone you love needs more help than you can give, will you be able to recognize it? Don't wait for a crisis to make the decision for you. Talk to Arden Courts. Memory care is all we do. We know, we understand, we can help. To learn more, visit arden-courts.com. Arden Courts follows equal housing opportunity guidelines. Somewhere at the corner of bewildered and confused is a lost mother, a father, a sibling, a grandparent. Wandering is a common symptom of Alzheimer's or related dementias and can often make those who care for a loved one feel just as lost. If you're looking for a place that's safe and secure, look to Arden Courts. Memory care is all we do. We know, we understand, we can help. To learn more, visit arden-courts.com. Arden Courts follows equal housing opportunity guidelines. Feelings of depression, isolation, and frustration are common among persons living with Alzheimer's or related dementias. It's common among those who care for them, too. It takes a lot of patience and courage. It also takes knowing when you can no longer do it alone. At Arden Courts, memory care is all we do. Talk to us. We know, we understand, we can help. Don't let guilt keep you from making the right decision. Visit arden-courts.com. Arden Courts follows equal housing opportunity guidelines. The inability to recognize the obvious often occurs with Alzheimer's, particularly among the family members who care for them. When the time comes for you to decide that someone you love needs more help than you can give, will you?
If you have a question or wish to share a story, call into the show at 888-565-1470 and talk with Marcia. Now, back to Caregiver Solutions.
I'm here with Sunny Netto, Marketing Director of Arden Courts Memory Care Community in Delray Beach, and we're talking about heart's desire and how you make people's hearts just so full by giving them the desire, the dream, something that they want to do, they could never do before, they haven't done in a long time. But, some of these that we're talking about are pretty fancy and elaborate, but it doesn't have to be like you mentioned. So what we want to do in the next couple minutes is give you all some ideas of how you can create a heart's desire for your loved one at home. And there are a lot of things that people can do. And I think that just, being creative or thinking outside the box. So let's just throw a few things out there and talk about what somebody could do. So let's say that someone has a loved one and they always plan that trip to Hawaii, but it just never happened, and they dreamed about going to Hawaii and they never got there. Could that be a heart's desire?
Absolutely. I would say get in your car, go to Party City, and get everything you can for a luau, and bring that luau party to your loved one, and bring Hawaii to them.
Exactly. You could have pineapple drinks. You could have all the decorations. You could play. There's music that you can put on. Don Ho,
the skirts, the grass skirts.
I mean, if you really wanted to, you could hire a hula dancer, and
sure can.
That would be pretty impressive. But have it in your backyard. Have it on your patio. Invite your friends. Have a Hawaiian party, and we're going to Hawaii that we never got to go, but we're going to go. And you're not physically going there, but like you say, you're bringing it to you.
Right.
Bringing Hawaii to you. What about someone who lived on a farm, and they were a farmer, and they took care of animals, and they used to milk cows? What could somebody do with that? Because, one of the things that we actually did years ago is we had a petting zoo come to Arden Courts.
Right.
And people got to pet animals and rabbits, and we had a
baby goats.
Yeah, baby goats and a cow, and bring the animals.
Yeah, maybe a chicken or two. Yeah, absolutely.
So, or go to the zoo.
Yes,
go to the zoo. They have the petting zoo, and so if you have somebody who loves the animals, take them to the petting zoo. It's not just for children.
Right.
They have it for little kids that can go in and pet the animals and hold the little chicks and everything. Take your loved one. If that was something that they grew up knowing about, they would love it.
Absolutely.
Take them to the farm.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Yeah. There are so many other things. You could take them golfing. Now, that's a hard one because, a lot of men, especially ones down here, they love to go out and they've golfed for many, many years. But because they maybe can't walk as well, maybe because they can't swing and putt and chip and they're slower, a lot of their old golfing buddies don't want to play with them anymore. And that's sad because it does happen that people get ostracized because they can't keep up anymore. But, there are golf courses that you can make arrangements for to have people to go and have people that would understand if someone didn't hit the ball or didn't, they weren't exactly going to hit par, but if they needed to take 8 strokes of the, to get it, they're going to take 8. So make it so that it's conducive to what your loved one can do and something that they're not going to feel bad about, because get on board with people who are on your side.
Absolutely.
That are going to buy into this to make it a good experience.
Right.
Because they're not able to go out with the same group of guys. But if you make it about, hey, we're just out to have some fun.
Bring the grandkids, bring the kids,
Just do a little, even go putt-putt golfing.
That's what I was going to suggest, putt-putt golfing.
That's a good one.
That's going to be more my style.
Yeah.
My speed.
So let's see, another one. How about somebody who never got to go see Elvis? And that was something, that, I never got to go see him, and now he's gone. Maybe they don't remember that he's gone, now, but they could.
Right.
But how could that be a heart's desire? What could you do?
Ooh, that's a good one. And one I really love, I would say get an Elvis impersonator. Bring him to the house. Bring him to the community. Have them come in there. I think it would be wonderful. I know when I have dressed up like Marilyn Monroe before and sung for residents and communities, sometimes they really thought I was Marilyn Monroe. And so,
because they're living in the past.
They are. And I had the white dress, I had the wig, and it was
you
really
played the
nice.
part.
I played the part. I sung the songs, and they loved it. And so, that can really, really, get them excited. So
yeah, and there's so many things that you can do that it doesn't cost money.
Right.
Just think outside the box. Even going to a favorite restaurant. Now, people say, well, gee, how could that be a harsh desire? Well, maybe you're from Brooklyn, and you miss the Brooklyn Bagels, or you miss the Nathan's hot dogs, or whatever it might be. And if you find a place that you can just have an outing and go and make a special outing of it, because whatever you do is going to be good, because it's going to bring back good memories. And that's what it's all about, is giving them their heart's desire, bringing back good memories, having a good time with them, enjoying time together. I think that's awesome. Some other ones that people have done in the past, or some of the other art and courts throughout the country have done, they held a class reunion. So they had all of their buddies that were maybe still around get together, and as many that could come have a class reunion, singing with a band.
Oh, yeah.
And that
would be great.
It's another good one.
That is a very good one, because and that's a perfect opportunity to incorporate the community, and have a band come to the community, or maybe to your house, and let them sing for them, a song or two. I mean, anymore, you can do karaoke. You can, have the karaoke lyrics up for them. I know that's something that I love to do with the residents, and they like, and it's because they can read the words and sing along, and it's something they can do, and they're successful at it. And so that is definitely something that they can do. But sing with a band, take them you can get the community, like I'm trying to think of a band, or even if they played an instrument in an orchestra, or in the woodwind orchestra and a band like that, you can take them to an elementary school, take them to a junior high, that lets them get back in there and play their trumpet or play their trombone.
What about a lady who used to be a librarian or a teacher? Wouldn't she love to go to a school library?
Yes.
And be there and maybe help out, like volunteer, quote unquote volunteer, and be back in her element, which is awesome. Go to a school library, see that person light up. They are in their element, and they are just so happy to be there. And it makes such a big impact on people. And this is just so important, and it shows heart, and I know that's, redundant with heart's desire, but it really does show heart. And I'm so glad that you came today to talk to us about this, Sunny. If someone wanted to learn more about Heart's Desire and get in contact with you, could they do that?
Absolutely.
How would they do that?
Okay, you can call Arden Courts of Delray Beach at 561-498-5552. Again, 561-498-5552, or you can come visit. Just come right over and visit us at 16150 Jog Road. We are just south of Linton on Jog Road in Delray Beach, just the top of Boca. And we're there, and we always have an open door. Come right in, meet our family, and we'd be happy to see you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much
thank
for coming
you for having
today.
me. This means a lot to me.
You mean a lot to us too, with with everyone at Arden Courts, what you do and how you create these beautiful memories for families. And I want to thank you all for tuning in today. Thank you for watching or listening, or however you are with us. Don't forget, call Arden Courts, get that free book, The 36-Hour Day, at 888-478-2410. In the meantime, we'll be back next week, same place, same time. Give somebody a hug, because they need it, and so do you. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Thanks for joining us for this week's Caregiver Solutions with Marcia Teal. Join us next week as Marcia, who has 15 years of Alzheimer's disease and dementia care experience, brings you more needed information to help with the care of your loved one. This show can be seen again on caregiversolutions.info, and questions can be left on the site, which may be used on the program to help others. See you next week for more Caregiver Solutions. The opinions